$3,000 is a lot of money. What up, everybody? How you doing today? My name is David DeFranco, and welcome back to my main channel. I gotta be sure I say that carefully, because I also have an alternative channel called Creative Finance. I don't know why I said alternative channel. Let's just call it a second channel. It is linked right below. Over there, I talk about all sorts of things in regards to being creative and getting paid for that creativity, whether you're video editing, selling things on eBay, starting a side hustle on Fiverr or Etsy. It's all there, guys. Check it out. I appreciate it. Okay, so in today's video, I just wanted to sit down and do like a talking head style video because this is something I occasionally mention in my recent vlogs, whether it's the weekend vlogs or the patrons only vlogs. But I wanted to sit down with you guys today and just dive deep into details because I have a lot to say about the rumored Apple VR headset, which they could probably call it the Apple Reality Pro. I'm not sure. Nothing's official, so let me give this quick disclaimer before people freak out and just rush to expectations. Everything I say in today's video is simply based off of things I've heard in podcasts and read on sites like 9to5mac.com and macrumors.com. So keep that in mind. None of this I'm saying today is fact. I'm just speculating and having fun because as an Apple fanboy, yes, as a proud Apple fanboy, I'm typically a glass half full kind of guy. Apple rarely messes up in a huge new category. I mean, guys, look at the iPhone, look at the iPad, look at the Apple Watch, and obviously the Mac in general. I mean, Apple just exceeds in those primary categories. Now and then a not so exciting product comes out like the HomePod and stuff like that, but you cannot deny the success of things like the iPhone and Apple Watch and iPad. They are huge successes, and that success is not going to slow down anytime soon. So with that said, can Apple repeat? Can Apple continue that success with something like a VR headset? In my opinion, no. Okay, but first of all, what is the headset? Now, again, none of this is a fact. I'm simply going off of rumors and nothing else. But I'm pretty sure this is going to be confirmed by WWDC 2023. The Apple headset or Reality Pro, whatever they're going to call it, is likely going to be a hybrid headset offering both augmented reality and virtual reality. And honestly, it's a cool idea. It's a cool idea. And of course, this cool idea has to be tailored with a bunch of rumored useful features. Heavy emphasis on the word useful. Stay tuned, I'll explain exactly what I mean or don't mean. First of all, we are rumored to have 4K micro LED displays. If this is true, then that could be incredible news because 4K is an amazing resolution, especially when you're considering a headset that's so close to your eyes. The image absolutely needs to be sharp. And guys, let me tell you, I have the PlayStation VR headsets, the original, not PlayStation VR 2. I just don't think I'm ever going to buy that unless I come into some huge sum of money randomly. But yeah, I mean, I've used VR for gaming before. It's cool, but the resolution in my experience could always be better. And if there's one company that I can always rely on to come out with a kick-ass Retina resolution, it's Apple. I mean, my iPad Pro looks incredible. The Apple Studio display looks absolutely amazing. My iPhone looks amazing. Like, Apple does display technology incredibly well, so I have no doubt in Apple just absolutely killing it in this feature department. Next up is eye and gesture tracking. This is pretty standard in most of the higher quality, higher priced VR headsets. And well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's actual technology that can track your eye movement. So if you're looking over here, your character or your avatar or whatever, in theory, is going to look in that same direction. And of course, the same goes for gesture tracking. If you're using your arms and moving like a robot, you're going to be moving like a robot in the VR world. External battery pack is the next feature I want to talk about. This I'm not completely sold on. I can't picture Apple releasing an external battery pack on day one with the VR headset. Now, I could see them releasing it maybe a few months after the VR headset is officially released. But Apple just doesn't seem like an external battery pack kind of company. I mean, in my opinion and in my experience, Apple likes everything being integrated into an all-in-one product, right? I mean, they want it to look good and feel good. And if you have an external battery pack attached to your headset, that's not really, sexy anymore. But I don't know. I mean, again, all of this is speculation, so I could be wrong. Maybe they will release external battery packs on day one. I mean, at the end of the day, obviously they do want good battery life. Well, honestly, that's more revenue in Apple's pockets, so it could be a good upsell. The next feature I want to talk about is the fact that the VR headset is pretty much guaranteed to be powered by Apple Silicon. Silicon. I know, I kind of interchange those two. Silicone is a stuff that, you know. No, but seriously, yeah, I mean, guys, it's obviously going to be powered by some kind of M chip, like M1, M2, because it's no secret. Apple has been killing it in the CPU department in the past 2 years or so. And of course, the same could be said for the VR headset. They want something power efficient, something that can drive the headset for a long period of time with excellent battery life, and so on and so forth. Just check all those boxes. And well, that's how you're going to get all those boxes checked, by powering your headset with M, fill in the number here. But actually, with that said, I think they're going to come out with some kind of branded M chip that's going to be made specifically, you know, for the VR headset. So I don't think it's going to be M1 or M2. I mean, honestly, they might call it like MVR. I don't know. This next one is really interesting. It's rumored to have support for prescription lenses, and that's great for me, for people like me who wear glasses. And actually, I think a lot of people wear glasses these days, so it's obviously incredibly common. And guys, I think this could be huge. You just give Apple your information based on your vision, and then in theory, you're going to get prescription lenses with your Apple VR headset that will look and perform just fine. Now, I understand your eyes do change over time, so I don't know how that's going to factor into this rumored feature, but that's something we'll have to just wait on and see what comes out of it. And finally, last but not least, this is pretty much a fact, not a rumor, because this is something a new product needs, a new OS. Now, whether it's going to be called Reality OS or VR OS, whatever, obviously the VR headset is going to require its own operating system. And while personally, I like the name Reality OS. It sounds good, it looks good, and it's overall good branding. Okay, so now with all the features out of the way, let's talk about potentially the most important thing I'll talk about today, the rumored price of $3,000. Unless you've been hiding under a rock for the past 2 or 3 months, there have been numerous reports claiming that the Apple VR headset is going to cost around $3,000. That's a lot of money for something that doesn't even exist yet. That's a lot of money for something that has yet to be proven, you know, to be something that we actually need. And it's just a lot of money in general. The average person cannot afford a $3,000 VR headset, especially considering it's something they might not even be using in 2 weeks. More on that in a bit. So guys, question for you. What is a realistic price for you to pay for a VR headset from Apple? Now, me personally, I prefer between $1,500 and $2,000. I think that's realistic. Now, honestly, yeah, that's still a lot of money for something that might not even be used, you know, like after a month or so, but it looks a lot better than $3,000 does. And guys, even then, this is PR/marketing 101. Apple could come out with the Reality Pro for $3,000 and then a year later come out with like the Reality Lights or Reality Air or whatever. Actually, that's a great name, Air, because of the MacBook Air and everything, and iPad Air, and price it much, much lower. And then the average consumer sees that as a, yeah, I can afford that kind of factor. But at the end of the day, I gotta be honest, guys, I myself cannot imagine a good use for a VR headset long term. Again, I have PlayStation VR, but guys, I got bored of it or just tired of it, or I just didn't feel like putting it on after 2 or 3 weeks. It hasn't been turned on in years. And honestly, I should probably sell it. But I don't know. It's kind of nice having it just in case I do want to use it again. But honestly, I'm probably not going to use it ever again. So maybe I should sell it. But anyway, let's think positively for a second. I am a glass half full kind of guy. I would love to be wrong about all of this. So let's think about some good usage for what could be an Apple VR headset. The most obvious usage scenario is gaming. Gaming is by far the most interesting and the most realistic, the most usable function of virtual reality. I made it clear I've done VR gaming, and guys, let me tell you, it is damn cool. It's a really cool experience, but it's not for everybody. A lot of people get motion sickness. A lot of people just prefer to sit on the couch or here at a desk. I mean, hey, that's what I prefer to do. But I will say the novelty of VR gaming is definitely really cool. But I'll say it again. for only like 2 or 3 weeks, and then you just get tired of it and you want to go back to the normal way of doing things. It's also great for virtual sporting events. Now, this could be really cool. Imagine yourself on the court of a major NBA game or on the field of a major NFL game. How awesome would that be? I mean, the stadium would quite literally be packed with cameras from all these different angles, and you could jump from camera to camera and, you know, walk around the field or walk around the stadium. And guys, I think that would be a really cool experience. That could be something that could be easily sold for like the Super Bowl. Like, you get an exclusive Super Bowl experience powered by VR. Now that would be awesome. Another realistic use is business meetings and social meetups where you could see the other person and interact with them in a new and fun way. But honestly, what's wrong with doing this? Sitting down at a desk and talking to a camera and seeing somebody face to face. I mean, yeah, VR meetings could be cool and more fun, but are they realistic? And finally, well, what else? What else can you do with VR that can sell you on such a high price tag? Me personally, I can't think of much. Honestly, I can't think of much. I mean, gaming is obviously the killer feature for most VR gaming headsets, but even then, I mean, Apple's not really a known gaming brand. I mean, obviously, they're very successful with the iPhone and the iPad and Apple Arcade. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, all of that is doing just fine. But how can Apple convince the average consumer to spend at least $1,500 to $3,000 for a gaming experience where most people are just comfortable doing this, sitting at a desk, sitting on a couch, and seeing the people around them? I just can't get behind the idea. I'm trying to convince myself. And guys, again, I'm an Apple fanboy. I will proudly defend Apple in any way I can. But I just realistically cannot see the Apple VR headset taking off. I just can't. The Apple VR headset could be something like the HomePod, a really well-built product, but the average consumer is not going to buy it. Simple as that. And well, lucky for Apple, they have so much money to work with. And well, if the VR headset is an absolute failure, then it's not a big deal. Apple gave it a shot, and at least they have the iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, the Mac, and so on and so forth. All right, so what now? What do we do? Honestly, guys, we just need to be patient. Trust me, I'm very, very excited. I mean, it's going to take a lot to convince me to buy an Apple VR headset. I mean, guys, it could be the greatest headset in the world, but I guarantee you I would get tired of it after 2 or 3 weeks. I'm sorry, it's just how I am. So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait till dub, you know, 23. Also, guys, it's worth mentioning that Apple knows about the price leaks, obviously. I mean, Apple obviously knows we are all expecting a $3,000 price tag. So maybe, just maybe, they could surprise us and come out with something much, much lower, and then suddenly we're surprised and saying, wow, okay, that is something I can afford. I mean, guys, look at the original iPad. The original iPad released for just $500, $499, plus tax, of course. But still, that was a lot lower than anybody was expecting. I mean, guys, I was expecting maybe like $800 to $1,000, but $500 for a new product, I'll take it. Now, obviously, the VR headset's not going to be anywhere near $500, but I'm just saying, maybe Apple will surprise us. We don't know until WWDC in June, so we just got to be patient. So guys, with that said, let me know, what are your thoughts on the rumored Apple VR/AR headset? I realize I said VR a lot in this video, but keep in mind, it is rumored to be a hybrid headset, meaning you're going to get both experiences, augmented reality and virtual reality. So please let me know in the comments. Let's have a conversation. Let's keep it civil, please, because anytime somebody argues about tech, things just go haywire. I'm not sure why, because it really is just tech at the end of the day. Whether the VR headset's amazing or whether it sucks, life still goes on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for clicking that like button, especially you in that blue shirt. I appreciate you. And finally, with that said, I am done. I'll talk to you later.